Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Or yeah, me. You seem like someone else. You seem like someone else today.
Perhaps Jimmy Iguana, if you want to call it that, or
Jimmy Iguana,
or maybe Mr. Iguana's pudgy son. That's fine too. But guess what? Obviously, I got iguana fever, just like the rest of this fine world. We have this guy. I mean, it's not the same as Yeska.
Yeah, Yeska.
I named him Leslie. So everyone say hello to Leslie. Leslie the iguana. It's gonna be a good episode today. I can feel it in my plums, John.
This shit rocked. I opened the door and full face. I saw like one tweet that was like, "Hey, I hope Jimmy dresses up as Minnesota." One tweet, and then here we are.
Absolutely.
I did ask you if you got I imagine you got some looks.
Yeah,
which good for you.
Yeah,
Very brave.
I take the train over here, and there was definitely some looks. Again, it's like 8:30 in the morning. People are in their business attire. I'm here, face paint. Iguana on the chain, because again, like you look at me, you can definitely see I'm like ready for war almost.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Mr. Iguana is popular, but not everyone watches wrestling apparently. So people look at me like this guy's ready for war, but no, I'm just ready to love Mr. Iguana just like everyone else should, because Mr. Iguana is fantastic.
Hell yeah. We're going to talk a lot more about Mr. Iguana and all of that toward the back half of the episode. We have a ton of other stuff. However, gotta tell you, I do love and appreciate the commitment. No one can ever argue that Jimmy is half in or not
Absolutely.
committed.
Whether it's Mr. Iguana, you want to throw me in war games, whatever, GI bro, whatever, it works. It works, my friends.
Well, we are going to start on that note. I do want to take this moment to shout out one Mr. Adam Pacitti announcing that he is stepping down from his role in Cultaholic. First of all, he's stepping down under the guise of I want to try something outside of wrestling. He's been doing this Cultaholic's been around for I don't know, whatever it was, 7 or 8 years, he said, and he's been at What Culture before then, so it's over a decade of doing this on the internet. I fully see, wanting to explore other opportunities, whatever, so shout out him. I don't even want to say, I'm always hesitant to say best of luck in the situation, because that I know he's going to succeed.
Yeah.
So I feel like he doesn't even need luck, but wishing you the best in whatever comes next. But yeah, the reason I wanted to bring it up is I do look at him as someone who has really laid the groundwork and the foundation for this, right? There would be no Stache Club Wrestling if there was no Adam Pacitti at What Culture, starting Cultaholic, whatever. There'd be no Stache Club Wrestling. So, just want to give a shout out to you. Someone really important in this space is stepping down from their role and might not be on camera talking about wrestling stuff as much, but so that's
he's a comedic genius, very talented. I remember the first time I ever heard of him or saw him was the billboard. He had a billboard of I'm blanking right now, but it was something about a job.
Okay.
Oh man, I gotta look this up.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I just first got onto him just through old real old What Culture stuff. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not sure what this billboard
So
is.
it was Adam Pacitti made a billboard. It said, "I spent my last $500 on this billboard. Please give me a job. EmployAdam.com." And it went super viral.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's my first time I ever heard of him. I'm like, that's hilarious. It went super viral. And then just an absolute legend in this space. So talented. I think of what happened to that wrestler? Mason Ryan, Stevie Ray, Earthquake, Alundra Bliss. So funny, so great. Smell in the cell, I think was another thing that he did, the little punishment thing for 24 hours. This guy is just basically, people throw out the word legend a lot. A legend.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, that's why we do our predictions for the title. It's why the title is. It's why we have a title on this channel. It's why we do predictions for the title. It's why we did that one punishment with shaving the stash. Where that's all Adam Pacitti laying the groundwork. But yeah, shout out Cultaholic. And also to frame this, Cultaholic is still going. The boys and girls over there are continuing, obviously, and it's in good hands. So it's just
I think Sam Driver's taking over.
I believe so.
His documentary work is fantastic. So they're going to be fine.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
going to be still going strong and thriving even.
Yeah. So shout out Adam. We appreciate everything you've done, and best. I'll say best of luck to what's to come. All right. We will go to. We have a bunch of stuff in the WWE world to talk about. However, Dynamite, or the 4-hour Dynamite, was last night. Specifically, the first 2 hours of it, though. I do want to touch upon two things. One, we had Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland 2. This shit rocked.
Banger
I had a
of
good
match.
time.
Banger of a match. I'm a little upset with the finish. I am.
Because they went to time.
They went to time. 30-minute time limit on Ospreay Swerve on a 4-hour show is a criminal offense. You can't be doing that, Tony.
And I
get it.
I
But
did really like the ending, or the idea of the ending, when it was like, Ospreay's first of all, like, nose busted open the first however minutes. Swerve just like laying in a hard one, it seemed like, to get him bloodier. And then at the end of the match, Swerve is in the ring. He's about to hit the stomp on the side of the ring. Timer goes off, and he's like in the ring. He's like, I know you want to try to beat me. I want to try to beat you. Let's finish this match. Sudden death, which, like, every match is sudden death, I feel like, but but it's sudden death. And then obviously Death Riders and the Bucks came out and whatever. But I would have loved, and I get you gotta tease us, you can't give us everything. I would have loved it. They just went like, all right, screw the 30 minutes. We're gonna do this until we have a winner. But I get it. It is a Dynamite. You gotta tease it. They're gonna probably do a third down the line, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
They're probably gonna team at All In
Against
maybe,
the Bucks.
probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
A lot of people, I think, thought maybe it was going to be Swerve and Hangman teaming up against the Bucks, but kind of a Swerve. Of course, the results from the Owen changed up a little bit. There was some kind of contention there, but yeah. So we have Hangman versus Moxley, and maybe Ospreay and Swerve versus the Bucks at All In.
All In's looking beefy, dude.
beefy indeed.
And you already have, you got Mercedes and Tony.
That's your main event.
You also have what we're not even mentioning that we're gonna transition into after this match is Okada Kenny 5. Whoa. But yeah, all right. So we'll wrap up. I mean, other than that, it was a Swerve Ospreay great match. I mean, these two, every single time they wrestle, it's just the one other match. And it's an anime match.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
so sick.
And
I love it.
And to defend and finish a little bit, like, I was watching it with my nephew, and he doesn't really watch wrestling all that often. He's still getting into it, and he's really into the match because of, like, the high paced action.
Is it the same nephew that got all the wrestling?
Oh
figures?
yeah, oh yeah. So he's getting into it. I'm definitely getting him his mind right when it comes to pro wrestling, and he's definitely getting more of an interest in matches, not just video games, whatever. And he's watching this match, and I get it, to defend it a little bit. It's like to protect both guys. You don't want anyone taking a loss, whatever. And it definitely beats a WWE-esque DQ. Like, easily they could have booked it where the Death Riders came in and got a disqualification. But for him to be like, how come no one won? My little nephew's like, there should be a winner. So I was like, tough to defend.
And that's tough. Like, how old is he?
7.
It's tough to tell a 7-year-old. Well, listen, they gotta protect both guys. You know what I mean? It's like then you start sounding, you sound crazy.
Yeah, he still thinks it's real. So I'm not gonna burst that bubble yet and make him a critique like that. But he'll get there eventually. But it was definitely a banger of a match. I can't wait for there to be a third one. And then this the finishing spot of kind of like, I was kind of confused for a bit. Like, Ospreay was kind of selling for a little bit too long, and then I thought for a second Swerve was gonna hit the stomp.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do it after the timer. Yeah, he was kind of slipping. It seemed like to maybe like get closer to that time limit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, Ospreay teased the Tiger Driver, which this part, Swerve hitting the Deadeye, which is just like, I love little bits of that, of like, Hangman is obviously his greatest rival. So the fact that, like, after all their, all their tumultuous,
hell yeah.
Adventures or matches, whatever, that they can take a piece from each other. So now Swerve in matches not against Hangman, he has the Deadeye in his pocket. Really, really cool storytelling.
That is super dope.
Ospreay, or he hit God, what the fuck is the I forget the name. Swerve hit where he had him hooked on his back, and he dropped Ospreay on like the back of his head, basically. I forget what that move's called, but that
Celtic
shit
Cross?
looks gnarly. No, it wasn't. No, he was like upside. Ospreay was like upside down.
Okay.
I forget what it's called. They had a name for it, but yeah, that match rocked. I'm excited for whenever 3 happens. But speaking of multiple matches, We had the contract signing of Okada and Kenny Omega. This was crazy. First of all, new belt. I like the new belt.
It looks gorgeous.
It's pretty.
Very pretty. Not huge on the name. And
What's the name?
the Unified Championship.
Oh, I didn't know that was the official name.
It's called it says it on the belt. It's just a Unified Championship.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't love the name either.
The thing is, though, I don't know what you would call it because they're unifying the Continental and the International Championship, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Intercontinental would be right there, but I think I see.
I do see WWE files trademark on Intercontinental.
Yeah, so there you go. Even though I thought New Japan had one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Idea. But it's just what other name could you have done? I really don't know. But I just think unified kind of to me signifies like two world championships being unified and like the title being called the unified title just kind of seems to me.
Even if it was like, which I mean, this is kind of dumb, but if it was something like the unified international championship, it's the unified. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they were just kind of, handcuffed with the name. It feels like, but yeah, I didn't even realize that.
It's a gorgeous title though. It looks really pretty.
I love that on one plate you have the one winged angel. On the other plate you have the Rainmaker for like. It's kind of hard to tell in this picture, but like not on these plates, but on the plates that are like on the side, which like I hope and pray that those are there forever. Like I hope it's not one of those like switched out. Like those are, Kenny was the last, which one was which? Okada had the Continental, right?
Yep.
And then Kenny had the International. So I hope that because they were the last champions of those, and this is the unified belt, that those plates stay there. Like that's part of the belt, And
it deserves it because it's obviously regarded as one of the greatest pro wrestling rivalries of all time.
Right.
Like it adds prestige to the belt. And I've seen reports of like AEW is now going to kind of treat it as like a second world title, which I don't really understand because like I've been vocal about how I feel about the WWE's World Heavyweight Championship and how even after Seth's great reign, his first inaugural reign, it's all champions have felt second fiddle to the WWE Championship. That's kind of always how it's been. I go back to sports. If you have two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. But it's just, how do you treat it as a world title when it's not technically a world title?
I do wish,
kind of silly to me.
Obviously it's Okada and Kenny. It's hard to ask for more. However, I wish they could have just finagled this to be for the world title.
Yes.
Absolutely. that would have really like, because it is Kenny and Okada in 2025, but it is for the mid card title. It's still super important. It's still the 5th match in their legacy. But it would have been that much greater if it was for the AEW champion.
And they are stepping in the right direction with, kind of losing one title. Because one of my things with AEW, they kind of have too many titles. They're marrying these two titles. So I think that's a step in the right direction. You can't think of a better, I guess it would be the inaugural unified champion with either Omega or Okada. And the video package last night.
The video package.
As someone like hand up, gonna get crucified. I haven't watched the Okada Omega matches, and I'm admitting that, and I'm a little embarrassed. I'm not gonna go back and go watch
Get them, boys.
But I can tell you, I've heard it for years. I mean, that's what kind of the intrigue. What intrigued me about AEW for me as someone that was a kind of diehard AEW fan in the beginning of 2019 was like all I hear about as a WWE fan, Omega, Okada, those matches were the greatest, and like that's what made me like, oh, I'm kind of perked up for Kenny Omega, and since he's been in AEW, he's been very good, and so and then this video package, kudos to New Japan for allowing AEW to use the footage, got me freaking hyped.
Oh my god,
great video package.
I feel like I'd have to go back. I haven't seen. I've missed like 1 or 2 of the 4. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But honestly, it feels like when like, the 5th installment of, I don't know, Star Wars comes out. And, like I want to now go back and rewatch everything.
Yes.
To then be like super caught up, which like the video package did do a great job of. Also, which I was reminded of, because I was just looking more into the match, whatever. Kenny has only had the world title in New Japan once.
Wow, really?
And it was off of winning it off of Okada. I do believe. Again, I'm not the historian here, but
I was pleased to learn that it was leading up to their 4th match. It was 1-1-1. So they had
they had a draw. The second match was a draw.
And Omega won the 4th match, so he's kind of up in the series. So would that lean towards Okada winning at All In? Maybe, who knows?
I mean, I would like. Because we know, which I don't know how much it's I mean, it is. I was gonna say I was gonna say not to question how much it's played up, because obviously he did get actual surgery and had a life-threatening, problem or injury or whatever.
Yes.
But they are on screen having Okada drop an elbow and have Kenny spit up blood.
Way too much blood. So, that was crazy.
So, my point is we are kind of being told that, like, this is Kenny's kind of later years in his career, which is, like, fair, even just giving his age.
Yes.
And especially with the, with the injury, are we kind of on his last legs as a wrestler? So I lean that this match goes to Okada, as we're maybe getting closer to Kenny, presumably stepping away, or at least is closer to stepping away than an Okada.
Yeah.
So that would be, if we're doing our picks now, I'd choose Okada.
And it's almost kind of, I don't want to say unfair to the wrestlers, but I think a lot of people don't really, I don't want to say care about who wins. It's more so the pressure is, can they live up to the match quality of the first four, which is like almost an impossible task.
Yeah.
Especially when, like, you go back to Orton Edge a few years ago when they tagged it as the greatest match ever, and it ended up being placing like 633rd. Like, this, people
Top
are
700 though.
Top 700. Not too bad. Not too shabby. It's been a lot of matches. But to kind of, well, actually, that's not what this match is being touted as.
Yes.
Mercedes kind of, I jumped to Mercedes and Tony Storm, because Mercedes is now on record saying this will be the greatest women's match of all time.
It's gonna rock. It's gonna rock.
But that's, how much pressure is that, though? And I was kind of bringing how, like, Okada and Omega, this is their fifth meeting. It's a huge rivalry. It's definitely a lot of pressure, and they definitely have a lot to live up to. So I'm definitely curious if it's more so just like, how much of a banger will this match be compared to who wins?
Yeah. And regardless, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the whole All In card. It's really shaping up. But yeah, all right. I think we can move on. I think this is a natural transition from AEW to WWE. We had Mariah May debut in AEW, now known as Blake Monroe. It's a little teaser we're going to talk about in a second. But before we really dive into Blake Monroe, couple things. We have some housekeeping things. We're a little bit in the episode. I got some housekeeping things. Yeah. We are coming off a great Money in the Bank stream this past Saturday. First of all, I want to thank everyone who was in the stream for the whole time. You tuned in for a minute, who, if you gifted anything or whatever, thank you everyone for making that a very successful Money in the Bank stream. The success of all the prior streams make it possible for us to continue to do streams. So we'll let you know when the next one is. Obviously, King and Queen of the Ring is the next event, but like it being, we'll talk off camera about what it is. That's also
Night of Champions.
What did I say?
King and Queen of the Ring.
Oh,
which is
yeah,
the finals are at Night of the Champions, but I think that's in Saudi Arabia. Believe so.
Night of Champions is.
Yep.
Yes. And King and Queen of the Ring isn't. Okay, yeah, I got my, because they have done King and Queen of the Ring as an event.
Oh, yeah.
In also in Saudi?
I believe so.
Okay, that's where I'm getting. Anyway, Night of Champions. You're right. Thank you for saying that.
Very good.
But yeah, but Night of Champions, June 28th, that is my birthday.
Oh, let's go. And then a month after that, July 29th.
Let's go.
Not to overshadow.
No, please. No, please. But I was kind of looking at that, and the fact that I think I did it like 1 or 2 years. I think it was either last year before my birthday was a WWE event. I forget. But the fact that we can do a stream from 1 p.m. to say 4 or 5 or whatever, wrapped up with the stream, just watch wrestling, just watch CM Punk win the world title off of John Cena, and then transition, like going to the bar with some friends for my birthday. That's a good Saturday.
Oh yeah,
I'm very excited for that.
Because the start times are
it's at 1 p.m.
Oh hell yeah.
Which is why we'll talk off camera, see what we want to do, or if we want to do a stream. But yeah, so that's that. However, again, to bring it back to the stream, thank you everyone for the stream. And we had a lot that happened. First of all, Jimmy, I know for those that don't know, this predictions round was not for the title. It was, in fact, for the SCW briefcase, and I'm the one that took it home. So we got the briefcase over here, the title over here. For those that don't know, the briefcase means I can cash in at any time I want. I can make any quiz automatically a championship match, and I can freeze the wager and manipulate my side of the wager however I want. It's huge. I have 1 year to cash it in. And I'm cashing in right now. Sophie, get in here. Sophie, get in here.
No, I'm not ready. I can't have Sophie see me like this.
Bring in those emojis. Guess the finisher.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that's to catch you up to speed on what's going on with the title. But I think we were talking off camera. I do believe I might even just be owed straight up a #1 contenders / title match for the quizzes anyway. So we're gonna kind of see what happens. We're still shaping up this whole title picture.
I
Where
got
I'm
my
trying to
ass
make
beat
it
twice last
more
week. I
interesting.
think it's definitely owed to you soon to have a title match. I am a fighting champion, regardless of the YouTube comments, what they want to say. Oh, Jimmy's a heel. Hollywood Jimmy does defend the title. Jimmy's scared. I'm not scared.
Hey, if you're not getting booked in title matches, you know what I mean? If you're not getting booked in title matches, then it's not your fault.
It's not my fault.
You know?
Yeah.
I do admittedly love tagging like the videos, like, you know, whatever. Guess the wrestler, title match. I do, you know what I mean?
Does add a nice little pop to it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So that is that. Again, thank you everyone. We'll let you know and keep you updated when the next stream is. But yeah, the streams are. I've been having so much fun with the stream. The streams are a ball.
Good times. Good times.
All right. So
I watched that our truth reaction like 80 times.
It's so
funny.
yeah. Truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. It's just like it's so funny to me.
And then all right, I have another plug later in the show. This episode isn't sponsored. This is really just gonna be sponsored by us. So we're gonna plug later. Anyway, Mariah May, folks, has showed up in AEW, now known as Blake Monroe. I mean, not to just dogpile on the name, but Monroe's fine.
Yeah.
It seems like a little bit obvious of a pick in terms of like, oh, Marilyn Monroe, like whatever. Blake, I don't love Blake. Blake Lively, I know it can be a unisex name.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's also one of those things where it's like Ricky Saints, give it 2 weeks and it's gonna be like, oh, okay, that's who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get used to it.
Mariah May just does like, in terms of, if you're just thinking of what's on a marquee and what's being said at WrestleMania, like Mariah May, maybe it's just because we're more used to it. Mariah May was the name. Blake Monroe, they'll change it when she gets called up.
Really? I don't think so. I think they're sticking with it. I think they're sticking with it. And the Marilyn Monroe thing, it's like, yes, I can see it. Also, though, it's kind of the same time period where it's a bit timeless when you say, and kind of very reminiscent of a past rival of Mariah May's, now known as Blake Monroe. I don't mind the name, actually. I think it's okay. I tweeted out like, oh, if what I'm hearing is true, I feel terrible for Mariah May, which is like an ode to when Keith Lee tweeted about Gunther and Walter. Did you ever see that?
With the name change. Yeah.
So I tweeted out that I was displeasure with it, but I actually don't mind it. It does sound adult filmy star-ish.
A tad.
And then actually it's confirmed that there is an adult star that is named that. So they might change that.
Oh, geez.
They might end up changing the name.
You think they would have done a Google search before?
You think they would have, but maybe I think we're just at a point now in time and history where, like, you know, a lot of wrestlers go by actual names.
Yeah.
And like the actual names, you want something that's marketable. But the thing about being marketable is in pro wrestling, using kind of fun names that are kind of, you know, action packed, is very, very similar to, you know, adult film star names. Unfortunately, you know,
Sure.
I think we had one in a quiz that was like VSO. So like, it's kind of a tough thing to gauge where it's like a lot of common names that you want to use a common name are already taken. So it's a bit tough.
I didn't know Mariah May's real name is, or her middle name is May, but her real name is Mariah May Mead.
Oh,
M-E-A-D.
Triple M.
Triple M. That could have been it.
That could have been it.
I know. I saw people joking around like M.M. Mateo. But happy for, I don't have much else to say, but very, very happy, excited, over the moon for Mariah May, Blake Monroe.
She bit off Sabrina Carpenter's music video.
Oh, I saw, like, because they even had like the animation.
I thought that's really cool, though. I know it's kind of a rip off, but it's like pop culture.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like when they reference like pop culture like that. And I even like, if it's an ode to Tony Storm, I almost even like that.
Yeah.
Going back to the Monroe thing, because like the way they ended in AEW was just beautiful, with the Hollywood ending and laying there. And it's kind of like I was talking about with Swerve and Hangman, where it's like you take pieces, you are your past rivals. You're the best parts of your past rivals. You take pieces of them and incorporate it into you. And that kind of makes you who you are, right?
That's why Seth Rollins is a pedigree.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited to see kind of where she goes. I admittedly didn't see NXT this past week, so I'm not sure. I didn't see like
She's gonna be champion for a year.
Yeah. What's her current direction? She like, what's her current direction? You know,
She's she has yet to. She's gonna sign her contract, I think.
Oh,
so,
okay, that's what's going on.
That might have been this past NXT. Yeah, so
I think so.
yeah. Jasper Troy and Obafemi had a crazy match.
Oh yeah.
They just two giant men throwing each other into things, and they're just like
that rocks.
Colliding. It's just like so much. I have to watch it. It was
I'll have to maybe while I'm
Jasper Troy though. Like he's like I think the guy that won LFG. Like he. Out of nowhere, so like he's just gets a NXT World Title shot, and had a pretty damn good. I thought he was gonna win, and I even thought I was even speculating like another shocking win here where he wins the NXT Championship off as like it's pretty much his first match, and then Obafemi was gonna be the fourth man in the King of the Ring qualifier.
Sure,
I think that match is missing someone, and it's Sheamus, Rusev, and Bronson Reed. I think it is.
Yeah.
So who better a fourth person to be to add to that madness of men meet than Obafemi?
True.
And then I would have him freaking win the whole tournament. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think he's do a 2002 Brock Lesnar push and just put him to the moon.
Damn.
I love Obafemi, but yeah, clearly not done yet. Still NXT champion.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, we will move on to some main roster stuff. We do have Money in the Bank this past Raw, and then also we're going to touch on, obviously, Mr. Iguana leading the charge over at Worlds Collide toward the end here. But we have, fucking
Spanish Fly.
The Spanish Fly spot was so sick. All right, Gunther defeated Jey Uso to capture the World Heavyweight Championship for a second time in his career. Crazy ending to Raw, folks. Unexpected on my end, to be honest with you. We were speculating for weeks of, is it going to be a Goldberg run-in? Is Seth Rollins or whoever wins Money in the Bank going to cash in? Is it just going to end in a DQ and protect both them? I did not see this Gunther just winning clean. Jey Uso title reign done. Here we are.
I thought a Jey Uso clean win was more likely than a Gunther win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Absolutely insane. Who would have thunk it, man? And then just like no shenanigans. There was no teasing of the cash in. It was just Gunther straight up beat the man down, choked him. To hear the audience once they realized that. Well, first of all, Jey didn't tap out. He just passed out, which is something a feather in the cap, a little bit maybe incentive for maybe a third match of the sorts. But to hear the crowd just like audibly gasp and like, so sad.
Gunther posted like on his story, like all the sad kids or whatever.
And so what a moment. Yeah. What a moment. Now a lot of discourse going around about, Jey Uso as world champion. Was it a failure? Was it a mistake for him to ever win it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I think it was a great run.
Yeah.
I would argue, here's my hot take, probably... Hold on, let me think. Something crazy. It competes with Seth Rollins' inaugural run.
Okay.
I
disagree. Okay. But I think it still goes to how I feel about the world title in general, which
sure.
Everyone that has had the title, in my opinion, has been the second to the WWE champion. That be that as that may, Jey Uso, while only I think 52 days, was something that clearly he deserved. It was a moment, crowning moment in his career where clearly he deserved it with merch sales, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the best in-ring quality worker, but
this match was a banger.
It was awesome. It was freaking awesome.
This match was great. So obviously, he isn't like top 5, but like the discourse of Jey Uso can't wrestle, Jey Uso's a bad wrestler is like so out the window. It's just people being, and like what sucks is Gunther won here, and now the discourse turns into like, you see, Jey Uso wasn't the guy, and it's like, no, he just had a title run. Not every title run has to be 4 years long, and people have only been watching wrestling for 3 years, so they're like, you know what I mean?
And I know what part of it is too, because I even fell into like tweeting out my shock when Jey lost the title. Like I tweeted out Andy Dufresne escaping prison through the poop, whatever. Yeah. It is fun to kind of tease it a little bit, especially as someone that is excited for Gunther to win.
Sure.
Like I definitely am a bigger Gunther fan than I am Jey Uso fan, but I can still say that Jey Uso's run was important. He definitely it was the right move for him to win at WrestleMania. Feel good moment, and has now elevated him to a top star, and it's and of course too, I definitely would bet against him winning it ever again. However, the chase is always better than the dream itself when you achieve it and what have you. Super unfortunate though that we never had like a Roman Reigns interaction where it's like you did it, man. Like,
yeah.
So again, I am still very shocked that it's over. I'm like, did not see this coming.
I mean, I think this will lead to because I see. As Jimmy is kind of the sole bloodline member fighting off the new bloodline on SmackDown, I do see maybe Jey going back to help his brother. We might get the Usos reformed.
Tell you what, though, Jimmy's been winning matches himself. He beat Drew McIntyre. He beat JC Mateo.
Yep.
So like Jimmy Uso's kind of holding his own on SmackDown. So like maybe obviously a tag team would be probably awesome and maybe what they're going for, but. I'd still say, hey, you guys can still kind of do your own singles push too. Maybe while doing the same tag team run too. For
the credit of Jey, I did want to just bring up some of his matches. So here's granted, and I think we're both in the camp. Like I like a short title reign, especially when it's the World Heavyweight Championship. Someone can have it for a couple months and lose it. Like it's kind of. Maybe it's nostalgia for me, but like that's kind of how it used to be.
It's kind of the purpose of having two world titles. Now that you have won the WWE Championship, which you've mentioned before, the only people that have had it the last few years is Roman, Cody, and Cena.
Right.
And it builds prestige, and like that definitely is the de facto #1 championship. This World Heavyweight Championship can help build those stars that wouldn't get the opportunity to be WWE champion.
Right.
And Jey Uso, I think, knocked it out of the park, to be honest with you.
So we had the title change at 41 against Gunther, which wasn't the greatest match.
I think it was a solid match. My only issue with it was the ending. I thought the choke tap out kind of really caught me off guard. It obviously played into storyline, and I think looking back at it actually means more, considering how Jey Uso now lost the title. So
Seth Rollins defeating Jey Uso by DQ. But regardless, Seth versus Jey was a banger. Jey went up against Braun Breaker again. It's funny. And in DQ. Yeah. Wow. Geez. All right. Aside of the N and DQ stuff, the in-ring work between Seth, Braun Breaker going against Jey was good.
And just big moments on Monday Night Raw.
Sure.
Like, I won't forget those moments.
Jey Uso versus Logan Paul at Saturday's main event was forgettable. And tag team. So like again, not the greatest run, but like you had the shocking moment. Well, it might not have been the greatest match at 41. The 41 match I think stands on its own for at least the shocking moment. How controversial at least the ending was. Like regardless if if you liked it or not, it is still oh my god, he tapped Gunther. Like especially if you look at it just in kayfabe, it's like a holy shit. And then you go on to Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, and sure, yes, like. Are those his best matches because they're with two of the best workers in the company? Yeah, sure, of course. I don't know why the argument is always like, well, good wrestlers were in that match. It's like, what do you want to not see fucking good wrestlers wrestle? Yeah. I don't know what
go back to the Royal Rumble. Everyone wants to cry like, oh, I want an unpredictable Royal Rumble winner.
There you go.
You got a freaking hell of a surprising Royal Rumble winner in main event Jey Uso. I don't think many people had Jey Uso winning that Rumble, and you got one there. So I don't know, man. It's like let the story play out, and I thought it was a pretty good run. You can have a short run and still be good.
And then, so to go to the Gunther side of things, what are we doing now? Gunther is now the World Heavyweight Champion. Where do we go from here? I have no idea. I'm sure you got some ideas.
I'm not going to bring up Bill again, but Bill's always on the table.
It's always lurking.
He's always lurking.
People are predicting, I know I just asked you the question, I'll take it from you, but people are speculating that maybe this is how, like, and it's all speculation, but the reason Gunther maybe got this world title off of Jey so quick is they want to do the Goldberg match. They want to do it for the world title. Maybe that's at SummerSlam. And then maybe around that time, during that match, right after that match, who knows? Maybe that's a Seth Rollins cash in.
Yeah.
So, like, people are really speculating that Gunther won it so we can get a Seth cash in. But I also I don't want Gunther to be a transitional champion.
Sure, yeah, he definitely kind of needs to rewrite the wrongs of his world title run, because I think a lot of people are pretty underwhelmed with his title run.
I would say Jay's run is maybe better than Gunther's.
Hell yeah,
okay,
I'm right there with you. Right. Maybe better matches, perhaps, because of course it was a bit longer. But I definitely kind of enjoyed Jay's title run more. So Gunther kind of definitely, you think he needs another decent sized run. You would hope, but I I definitely think something can be pointed to with whoever is the fourth man in that King of the Ring qualifying match or the first round match, Fatal 4-Way. So if that is Dragunov, that would be something of a game changer where he could win the whole tournament.
Yeah.
I know some people are rooting for Sami Zayn, who won his first round King of the Ring matchup. So maybe Sami versus Gunther, and we get a rematch of the WrestleMania 40.
You do also have Cody in the tournament, which is always an easy default, you know?
I know. So, like, I don't want to get ahead of it, but, like, Cody being in it, and, like, especially with his Fatal 4-Way match, like, oh, Cody's winning that match. If Cody Rhodes doesn't win that match, I will eat this iguana.
Yeah.
No, I won't. But, yeah, I'm totally confident in Cody Rhodes win that Fatal 4-Way. Will he win the whole tournament? Maybe. Because I kind of think Sami's going to win this tournament.
I think so. I think so too. I think because my pick, this is like my fantasy booking thing like months ago, was that Sami Zayn wins Money in the Bank. Then he cashes in on Jey, and that starts that rivalry. I think we can do a similar thing where maybe Sami doesn't turn, but Sami climbs to the mountain. You have Karrion Kross backstage during commercials saying, like, you're, you know, and Sami like, oh, I am world champion material, da-da-da. And then you get Sami Zayn winning the King of the Ring, earns that title shot at SummerSlam. That maybe negates the whole Goldberg thing.
I just hope, like why not Goldberg's retirement match? Why do it with Gunther? I know they kind of teased it with storylines months ago, but like if he, especially because there's been reports of saying like he can't run anymore.
I heard they like got injured during like training or some shit.
Feed Dom to him. And don't get me wrong, I love Dom, but like, have a historic last spear of Dom Mysterio at SummerSlam. Like, don't even do a match. Just have like a moment. Like Goldberg, man. No, all respects to my boy, but
Goldberg 12 hours ago did tweet out who's next with his Titantron or whatever.
I don't know. He kind of seems more of like a Saudi Arabia pull. You know what I mean? Like they would probably pay money they want to see the legends of yesteryear, and they'll go for Goldberg. So maybe he'll be at Night of Champions. I don't know, but yeah, I'd rather have Gunther have a strong reign, have some great matches every week on Raw, kind of restore the feeling. And what a great start for that with a convincing win over Jey Uso. Man, that moment was special though. Like just to hear like the crowd just like panic and lose. See, right in the moment where Jey Uso passed out, you felt the tension in the air.
I do. All right, this kind of goes to what we were talking about a week or two ago when you were saying like what rules would you change or implement, whatever. They need to decide whether for someone passing out, are they dropping the arm 3 times?
They don't do that no more. I miss it.
They did it fairly recently. I can't tell you what match, but there was one where they dropped the arm and someone did the old.
I feel like that's a big ruthless aggression and attitude era spot where it's like the 1.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not, but it's like
I just feel like they don't do it anymore. And it's unfortunate. I love that spot. You know? But yeah, like to do referee's discretion, and it's like.
I just don't love just the slap, slap, slap. He's out. Like I think there needs, even if you picked it up once and dropped it, to me there just needs to be a little bit more definitive of this is what I'm counting as a pass out, as opposed to just like, hey, hey, you know what I mean?
I'm worried about you.
Because then it's like also it's like I don't love those moments. It's hard to, especially when you're in an arena. And you see someone like pass out, whatever. If you're in the back row getting ready to like scream, you're like, "What happened?" And then you hear the bell ring. You're like, your first inclination is more, "What the fuck just happened?" As opposed to,
absolutely.
"Whoa!" You know what I mean?
And that's where I was at. Not to go back to the WrestleMania 41 match where Jey hit a frog splash on each turnbuckle. Yeah. Got to 3, and then I'm like. Hit that 4th and win the match. Yep. Huge pop. No, they decided to do a choke instead, which kind of like half the crowd wasn't sure it was actually real or over or whatever. Mm-hmm. Great point, John. Great point of like the choke not too climactic, you know?
To wrap up this match, we'll go on to the Money in the Bank winners. One thing I do like that we got from the choke from WrestleMania. So I don't disagree with you where like it was a lackluster ending. Like it would have been way more like, oh, like Jey pinned him, whatever. And also making Gunther tap kind of is still tough. But I do like the storytelling we got in this match where like Jey Uso was going for the sleeper. It's like that's what won me at the first time. Let me try to go for the sleeper. And then Gunther, it was like they were trading sleeper holds, which is like, I don't know, just a cool and different thing that you don't see all the time in matches.
I want to see even too, like when Logan Paul put it on Jey Uso at Saturday Night, I thought for a second, oh my God, could this be it?
Sure.
Like they kind of now elevated the sleeper hold to a move from like, oh my God, this could be the end of the match. So kudos to that.
All right, we'll move on. Well, we're kind of jumping around here, but we're alluding to it, already talking about it. But Seth Rollins has won the Money in the Bank briefcase, beating a whole slew of people, including an LA Knight, including who else was in the match?
Penta,
including a Penta,
Andrade.
Yeah, but I mean,
Grande.
yeah.
There was better options in that match to win Money in the Bank, in my opinion, John. I don't know about you. I know you picked Seth Rollins, but are you happy Seth Rollins won?
Yeah. I don't disagree that he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
You know, like I did, like, you know, I'm fully with you. He already has the faction, and he is Seth Rollins at the end of the day. But I don't think it was a wrong choice, especially seeing him this past Monday, like with it and carrying it. I like it. Sure. Is it a little bit like, oh, of course, you're giving it to like one of the top 3 guys in the company? Like, fully get that, reason to not love it. But I really think it ended up / is going to end up being the right choice. I think it's going to be entertaining for sure.
I do share the same sentiments as you, but clouded over that is the frustration over 3 years of myself being a fan of LA Knight. Yeah.
Sure.
The people were yearning for it at Money in the Bank. It's in LA. The crowd really wanted him to
about
win.
15% of people really wanted it.
Shut your mouth. And it's crazy to me because he was so close. And like even like leading up to Money in the Bank and kind of seeing where the trajectory of his character is going and not going. It's almost every time I see him, it's like a rotating thing where it's like, oh, it's over. He's done. Oh, wait, now he's interacting with Seth. We're back. Oh, my God, Money in the Bank. He's, like, so close, and, like, the crowd's going crazy. This is perfect. He's going to win it. We're so back. And then cut off Seth Rollins. Oh, that angle slam that he did. Who was it, too? I forget.
I forget who it was, too. That shit raw.
Andrade,
off the ladder.
I think. Yeah, that was insanity. Yeah. The match itself was really good. I just think it was the wrong winner. My boy LA Knight kind of heating out the dry a little bit. But right when I think he's dead and like Money in the Bank, the 3rd year in a row he's done, who shows up on Monday Night Raw and starts a new fresh program with Seth Rollins, who like, hey, say what you want about him, maybe not deserving, but shouldn't have not won Money in the Bank. This feud has potential, man. I cannot wait. Although, like, what happened to the brand split? What happened to Raw and SmackDown rosters? Do they not give a fuck anymore? I mean,
they haven't. They haven't for 2, 3, 4, 5 years,
and that's fine. But say it. And like my issue, and I won't skip ahead too much, but like CM Punk is now challenging John Cena at Night of Champions. CM Punk is a Raw superstar. John Cena is the WWE champion, which I think is SmackDown's champion. Why did CM Punk just walk out and say, hey, I'm challenging you for the title, after most recently we saw CM Punk lose a Money in the Bank qualifying match? So, like, what the hell's going on a little bit? But, again, I'm not going to complain about CM Punk versus John Cena. That's something we've been wanting for a long time, and, like, I think almost any WWE fan in their right mind would want. But, like, how we're getting there is kind of, like, okay. Like,
it is kind of like, and it's the camp that I'm in where it's, like, at the end of the day, it is CM Punk and Cena. So, like, I am fine with just being like, who cares?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, I fully get, like, writing wise or whatever. It's like, well, he did. It's like, that was honestly one of my first things. It's like, well, he did just lose his qualifying match. Why is he getting a world title shot in a couple of weeks?
Right.
You know what I mean?
To me, like, the World Heavyweight Championship is on Raw. CM Punk's on Raw. Like,
I mean, that part I haven't given a shit about for 5 years. Neither
does the company, apparently.
But no, they did at least note that when LA Knight came out, they were like, you know, they mentioned that doesn't usually show up on Raw.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know this is how it should be. He should be on Raw now. Like, if they're doing it, one, it's totally fresh. It would help LA Knight. He's out of the bloodline stuff. He's out of feuding with, you know, whoever else is on SmackDown. To just lean into him going against the faction that is Seth Rollins' faction. I guess we'll find out on Raw or I guess even closer, SmackDown tomorrow. If LA Knight's on SmackDown tomorrow, then it's
Right.
really just like, what are we doing?
I can't wait for like a Paul Heyman LA Knight back and forth promo.
Ooh,
Paul
yeah.
Heyman doing sarcastic yes, like that's gonna be hilarious. And then yeah, like I mean the Slim Jim thing, like LA Knight and Jey Uso, face of the companies right there, you know. So maybe you want LA Knight to eventually also have some world title gold too, if he's gonna be toting Slim Jims for you. But
I guess so. But yeah, I mean, this was probably slightly over Becky Lyra. This was my match of the night.
Yes.
I loved it, and you obviously got like, it was overbooked in a good way, overbooked in a complimentary way, where you had Seth's faction come in, and then you had
the Bloodline,
right,
Beefy
the
boys.
Bloodline coming in to kind of, which I guess like I kind of forgot like when LA Knight came in to attack like whoever he attacked, JC Mateo or Braun Breaker, whoever he attacked on Raw, or straight up Seth. I forget who he attacked, but anyway. At first, I was like, what's the deal here? But I did forget, like, they basically cost him that Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
Like, he was, if you're like putting people in like first, second place, like LA Knight was at least in second place in that match. You know what I mean? Which I think at least getting a silver medal, I think is at least like a pretty big stamp of approval. And like, we have a storyline for this Money in the Bank thing. Like we are, whatever. But like, it seemed like he was the number 2, which I think is at least like something to hang your hat on.
Had the crowd support, and is now definitely in a fresh new feud.
Mm-hmm.
So there is hope again for us LA Knight truthers out there, but it's just still very much frustrating. He's in the King of the Ring. He's in a tough Fatal 4-Way round 1 match with, I believe, Mello,
Orton.
Black, and Randy Orton.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, I can see Black winning. I can see Randy Orton winning. I can see Mello, unfortunately, I don't see winning with how the booking goes, but this could be a moment of a pleasant surprise where he gets a surprise win. And again, with these
Oh yeah, right. Wait a minute. I was just the second ago. I was just like, we'll see if he's on SmackDown or not, or Raw, and he's in the SmackDown. Yeah. So I don't know what that kind of answered my question. I don't know what's going on.
So I'm assuming maybe LA Knight won't win that Fatal 4 match with maybe shenanigans with possibly some faction members of Re-Evolution.
Yeah.
So then you got Orton, Black, and Mello. We haven't seen Randy Orton in a little bit. I think Randy Orton's probably gonna win that match. If I had to bet my bottom dollar, or do you start a new feud between someone in that match?
Well, I think if we get Orton advancing on, let me look at the bracket, because I was gonna say no, never mind. I was gonna say if Orton and Cody advance, we get them in at least like not the finals,
it would be
but like whatever.
It would have to be the finals.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It would end up being the finals, but I don't know if I want I would want that the next round. I don't know if we need that the finals. Yeah. That's kind of what I was hoping it would shake out to be, but I guess not.
The winner of that Fatal 4 match will face Sami Zayn on Raw, so maybe LA Knight will win. I don't know, man. It's good. It's good. People don't like Fatal 4 matches for the King of the Ring. I think it's awesome, and I think it also protects some people that you don't have to lose. I don't know, man. Yeah. I like it.
Well, we'll circle back to that a little later. Okay. We do have Naomi winning the women's Money in the Bank. This is, as you know, I didn't have her in my predictions. I had Roxanne, obviously Roxanne advancing, not to really keep jumping around, but Roxanne advancing in her Queen of the Ring tournament.
I was shocked Mommy didn't.
Yeah, that was crazy. But we have Naomi with the briefcase. It's perfect. It's this, like, now looking back on, like, I did want, I was rooting for a Roxanne, but like we were even talking about on the podcast, you obviously chose Naomi. It's perfect with her character, her heel work, her ongoing feuds with Jade and Bianca. Like, it's a great pick. I'm happy for her.
Me too. It's gonna be very interesting to see how long she holds on to the briefcase. I think there's a lot of like character. She's been having feuds without the title for a while, so you maybe continue with this whole Bianca Jade thing, and then down the road have a cash in when Bianca and or Jade is the champion, or you can have it where she wins the title off of Tiffany or Io,
sure,
and then eventually Bianca and Jade will challenge for that title. I just think we are definitely very much still in a Naomi Jade Cargill feud for the next few months. And I think that's a good thing. I really enjoyed their feud altogether.
Yeah, I agree. The match was solid. I do think it had the expectations to steal the show. Didn't quite do that. You did have Stephanie hitting the devil's kiss on the ladder. Also, shout out Stephanie doing triple duty, or not the same night, but you know what I mean. She worked.
Pat McAfee said it about 100 times. It was like 3 matches in 18 hours, or something like that.
Yeah,
and all
she
of them
was
were pretty
coming
damn good matches.
Coming off the Worlds Collide match, tagging with Lola Vice, and then being the Money in the Bank match. Yeah, she is after like that weekend, I was like, oh, Stephanie might win this. Like I think we're on stream, and I was like, Stephanie could win this
easily.
It was definitely a solid women's Money in the Bank match. It wasn't an all timer for them.
I think for me, it was the women's Money in the Bank match was so match, absolutely correct winner. The men's Money in the Bank match, fire match. My opinion, the wrong winner, but
I don't know.
Neither here nor there.
I don't know. You're gonna love LA Knight when he goes to AEW.
Eli Drake has shown up in the Elite Zone.
All right, we'll move on to R-Truth. We're going to kind of cover the whole scope of R-Truth here. R-Truth returns doing what was pretty boring. Cena and Jey versus Logan and... Or sorry, Jesus, I said it all. I keep saying that. Cody and Jey versus Cena and Logan.
It was boring for the first half of it. But I tell you what, who saved that match is everyone's...
That's what I mean,
hated person. Logan Paul's...
Logan.
Logan Paul's, the drone spot was fantastic, and then the moonsault.
Yep.
The worst person just did a crazy moonsault onto the announce table. So those moments definitely perked me up and was good. But then it was overall kind of like, a very predictable outcome. I thought going into it after seeing all the baddies win leading up to the main event. But then we get the crazy.
R-Truth comes out. And this, it is a little old news at this point, so we're gonna focus more so on the promo on Raw.
Yeah,
but comes out, attacks Cena, just like one of probably. I mean, it's early to say, but I would say one of the best surprise unmasking sort of moments. And obviously we're not gonna get too into was it all everyone got worked? That was the plan the whole time. If you think that, you're a crazy person. I think where are you at?
I know
I just said we're not going to talk about it, but
no, overall, who gives a F?
That's the thing, right?
Does not matter. However,
people there is an argument. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but there is an argument of people being like, no, it does matter because you have to hold R-Truth and TKO accountable. They don't give a shit about you.
So from my perspective, what I think...
We have to show them that our voices matter.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. It did work. It did work, but in a sense. You know what I mean?
I think because we kind of putting the pieces together as we're watching on stream a little bit, so R-Truth made a tweet saying his contract wasn't being renewed. He wasn't released. They were saying, he probably had 2 weeks left of his contract, whatever.
It was, yeah.
And then the writing was on the wall. They couldn't come to an agreement, whatever.
Right.
He makes that tweet. The outpour of love and respect, and the voices were heard, in my opinion, and they probably eventually did get to a deal. And they're like, all right, we've built so much buzz with this, with you being, contract not renewed, just like Carlito, just like Valhalla.
Yeah.
So I think they're actually gone. So it's kind of the same boat those three were in. But Truth, obviously, there was a huge movement, and they decided to make it an angle, and that's what we got. And then
fully agree.
And if I'm wrong. Awesome. I got
worked. It's great. Yeah. That's awesome.
People want to say, when we're doing the live streams, it's such an overreaction, or you're purposely reacting for the stream, or whatever. No, that was a genuine oh shit moment. Did not have any hopes to seeing, not hopes, but any belief.
Thought.
Belief that R-Truth would be showing up in the show. Well, throughout the whole night, we were kind of staking down one person that had a true sign, that guy's gonna get kicked out soon.
Yeah, right.
We were
we were saying that earlier in the night.
Yeah, so it made for a special ass moment. It was great, man. And
I want to say shout out. I believe you pronounced his name Deporticus, where he said something that I resonated with, where he's and he's kind of his whole thing is he's a new wrestling fan. As an adult, he's getting into WWE.
Oh, cool.
And he's been blowing up. Seems like a great guy. He streams and stuff. But anyway, he tweeted out, which a point that I've also been touting for a while. It's there's I don't know why people are embarrassed about getting quote unquote work. It's great. You suspended your disbelief and you watched the TV show and you had an emotional reaction to something happening in the fictional storytelling of the TV show you watched.
Yeah.
It will never make sense to me why you have to be No, I knew that was happening the whole time. No, they didn't trick me. It's like, what are you
know what it is,
talking
man.
about?
People want to be right.
People want to be right.
People want to be smart, the smartest guy in the room, and they want to say, "I told you so." God, more power to Sean Ross, who like reports on this stuff and news and breaks news. Like I think he was in the mud, getting like all clowned on because he was wrong about quote unquote wrong about stuff like.
Which granted, and then a shit ton of reports came out, which does like kind of go to the fact of like, no, it wasn't a work of all these reports were coming out about like, Nick Khan like had to sit down with R-Truth and like give him a new offer. And like, like there was so much real life stuff that happened where it's like, sure, things, and that's how wrestling's happened forever, right? Things happen in real life that then are like, oh shit, we can use this. That get integrated into storyline stuff that make these storyline stuff better because there's realism in it, which I think wrestling is always the best. Look at CM Punk promos. Wrestling is always the best when there's truth, no pun intended, and realism in it that you can, intertwine and whatever.
Totally. Like I definitely don't think the plan was at Saturday Night's Main Event when they had truth for Cena, like this was the end game where like, oh no. Like so like it's just kind of timing, circumstance, and like capitalizing on a moment that clearly was created with that tweet from Ron Killings, because now we got moving forward, it's not R-Truth no more. It's Ron Killings, which is like, totally different. And like it's so interesting because like my initial reaction from his return at Money in the Bank was, he looks serious. There's a different look in this man's eye. And then we're watching the post game show, and I'm like, that kind of like felt like Ron Killings, not R-Truth. And then Peter Rosenberg, who are like, I feel like sometimes you have the same brain. Then like as we're watching, goes, yeah, that was Ron Killings. I'm like, oh damn, Peter Rosenberg. And then we go online and see like, yeah, they're selling Ron Killings shirts. It's Ron Killings.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I love. So yeah, to kind of go to his promo on Raw, he's got up on still in the black hoodie, got up on the announce table, talking his shit, thanking everyone, being like, I wouldn't have been here without you, and and then really like, breaking the fourth wall, which I liked. Me saying like, R-Truth was a little sillier sometimes, and R-Truth was this, and like, well, that's all great and dandy. The R-Truth chapter's done. Again, reiterating, this is the Ron Killings era. Cutting off his hair, taking the scissors, snipping off the dreads. Which like is my take on that. Maybe I'm not the one to like say it. It wasn't his hair that made him silly. Like I get like him doing this as this is a new me.
Yeah.
But I don't think he didn't need to cut his hair. That wasn't what made him silly. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. I think it was more so for that
sentimental
holy
thing.
Shit,
sure,
oh my God moment. This dude is like kind of like he means business cutting off his dreads.
Yeah.
You think of the phrase, letting your hair down. This man chopped it off. But yeah, I guess here's the thing. When I think of Ron Killings, I think of him having cornrows.
Sure.
So like kind of the short hair, like NWA world champion back in the day, like looking like $1 million. I went down the road because TNA. Shout out them, their social media team on the ball.
Oh yeah,
putting us on that Slammiversary show. But then also, anytime there's a big ass moment in wrestling, they will go in their archives and go, yeah, here's Ron Killings' TNA career, like immediately. Which like I started immediately watching. I'm like, oh crap, this is really cool and interesting, and definitely a part of history that I'm not too familiar with. So early 2002, Ron Killings, so like a lot of like his thing was like kind of being held down by the man, and like there's definitely that like aggression in his face now. You can even see it, and like who put them down, who almost didn't renew his contract, the quote unquote the man. So we're kind of in the same boat right now with Ron Killings. Like my thing is, because again, like we were talking about like Saturday Night's Main Event, and I kind of predicted a little bit like this could be it for Ron Killings even before he got released, and it's more so because of his age and maybe perhaps slowing down in the ring. Maybe, hopefully, I'm dead ass wrong, and maybe do you think we have some like serious legs with an R-Truth run for like the world title?
Ooh, world title.
Like, because now clearly he's feuding with Cena, and like he's in that picture. He's going to be a serious character. This is no more funny business anymore. This is good. I'm assuming he's going to be in the ring and looking to win matches. So I'm definitely curious to see if he still has that I want to say believability in himself and just in the ring of like, oh, I'm a top guy.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
For a couple reasons. One, it's between hearing reports and then just like online speculation that's been happening for a while. Is that WWE it's maybe allegedly that maybe WWE / Triple H don't really love when the fans steer a little bit, or when the fans hijack, or when the so like. I fully do believe that R-Truth coming back was a fans making their voice heard decision, right? So I don't know how much they brought him back. I think that's just as much as we're getting. I don't think we're getting to a world title shot, because that is really Triple H with the pen being like, here, write the show.
Sometimes, you got to give the audience what they want. And tell you what,
True.
Guess who has more views on YouTube? R-Truth's promo or Cena Punk promo? R-Truth's promo got more views. So there's definitely some momentum to ride on this.
At the end of the day, if you get the views, you get the money, you get the looks or whatever, like you do want to just strike when the iron's hot. My other thing, though, is maybe a real pessimistic look at it. I don't trust the fans.
Oh, yeah.
I think if we're being generous, 2 months will go by and people aren't going to give a shit about R-Truth. People are not going to give a shit about and this is what Cena said in his promo.
Yeah,
and this is like
dope.
Sure, it was a heel promo. It was him leaning in or whatever. But a lot of Cena's heel shit toward the fans has been real, and I fully agreed with Cena's speculation in terms of Truth stuff, where believe me, there's no one happier than me that Truth is back. I want Truth to have the world. If I had it, I would give Truth the world title. I just, don't know if Triple H and WWE are going all in due to them being arrogant about their own decisions. And 2, like I said, I think it's great that the fans got behind Truth, but just like Cena said, okay, now you got him.
What's going on?
Okay, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? I don't think, and like, Truth is always loved, right? Like, even before he got released, he would still get a big pop and everything.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to resort back to, we enjoy R-Truth casually and, whatever. I think this really fiery push Truth to the top thing is going to burn out in 2 months. And that's not me talking. That's not me saying that I'm going to be a part of that. I'm just saying that's what I think the fans are going to do in terms of me just not, I don't know. Maybe I'm just siding with Cena. I don't know. Maybe I'm just siding with Cena so much. Maybe I'm just making a pessimistic look at WWE fans. But historically, they can be a little fickle, and they can be a little bit, this is what we care about this week. We don't give a shit about it in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Because you're very much against the keyboard warriors, the armchair activists that Cena was talking about, the fans of the internet, that kind of what he was saying in this promo. Now you got R-Truth. Now what? Now what with R-Truth? So
in a sense, I just want people to prove it. I just want people to be like, to stand on business.
I want to see Truth prove it too. I want to see what he got in the ring, and if the serious run's going to be serious, and I want to see how serious and how good it can be. But I totally agree with you. Sometimes in wrestling, there's fads, and they might not last long, but they sure they sure burn bright. But then sometimes when you burn bright, you go out twice as fast. So, and
that's like, that's where, like, who knows? For all I know, again, I'm taking a very pessimistic look at it, but like,
fine.
There are reports, speaking of Mr. Iguana, that he's on fire. They're gonna call him straight to the main roster. He's like the top merch sales. So hopefully, and like, I want to, with all of that said, my obvious hope and desire is for an R-Truth / Mr. Iguana / whoever else that has like their moment. I want them to continue to have this moment and whatever. I want to be clear that none of this is my speculation or hope. It's all just kind of what I'm looking at in terms of, I could see the fans, doing this or not doing this or whatever.
Are they still believing in Joe Hendry as much as they were?
I would say no. Yeah. Which like, it's two sides of that coin. No. However, he is still getting massive pops. Yeah. People are hoping that he is going to be the fourth man in that Fatal 4-Way.
Very possible.
Where it's like to discredit myself a little bit is like, you can't always have that. Like, nothing lasts forever, especially on that same level, right? You're not going to have that same Joe Hendry level fieriness from the crowd for 12 months, right? It's like it just naturally is people are just gonna be not cheering as loud. It's like, well, we can't cheer as loud as we did 1 month ago, because things just become not as exciting.
There's always a new toy.
Which is like fine, because that's just like it's not it's not expected to get that same level of pop all the time. So it's like I don't know, two sides to the coin.
We're all spokes on the wheel.
Oh fuck! Who said that?
CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk said that in the promo. God,
promo.
a lot of references. Are we close to that? That promo was coming up. I was just seeing where. All right, we have one more. We'll wrap up the Ron Killings thing. I want to talk about Becky Lyra, and then we're gonna go to the CM Punk promo. Good. But yeah, ultimately, I'm very excited to see where this. Outside of what I think the fans care about or not. I'm excited for. Well, I do think we are going to get an R-Truth push. I mean, in the same sense, like, WWE seeing how hot people are on Mr. Iguana, there is the other side of the coin. People see how hot they are for R-Truth and the potential, whatever. And they're like, there's a potential for them to either ignore it or strike when the iron's hot. And they're going to make one of those decisions, and I hope they strike when the iron's hot. I don't know if he's getting a world title to loop it around to your question, but I think we're going to get a run. We're going to get a run of some sort.
We're not getting an R-Truth push or run. We're getting a Ron Killings push and run, which is different.
Yeah, I agree. And I think as he's still so athletic. Give me a 2025 Ron Killing 60-minute Iron Man match. I want them to rival MJF and Danielson.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Whoever he ends up facing. But yeah, I'm excited. It's like I said, to go against everything I said, it is an exciting time of like, holy shit, the fans got R-Truth back. Ron Killings is now getting a push in 2025. It's unexpected. It's cool. I'm very here for it. Yeah, all right. Anything else on the R-Truth Ron Killings stuff before we move on?
The truth has set us free.
Real. That's real. Before we move on, I do actually want to, again, this episode is not sponsored. However, a quick little plug. Folks, we got merchandise. We got this little. Let me show you the back here. Let me spin around.
A little spin.
Oh wait, there's a back to this chair. Hold on. See that? Is it on camera?
Yep. Looks great.
Bash of the Stash, folks. That is our summer T-shirt. There's a bunch left, as well as some other stuff on the shop. Head to shop.clutchpoints.com. Pick up yourself a Bash of the Stash tee. You can pick up some koozies. We have, if you're into wearing beanies during the summer, you can pick up a beanie. We have a handful of Sweep City shirts left. I think only we have larges. We have larges and XLs left in the Sweep City tee. And then we have a sticker pack and whatever. So yeah, this is a merch plug. Please head over there. Merchandise is a direct way to support the show, and it's also cool seeing people wearing it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, all right. That's our sponsor. Our sponsor today is ourselves. So okay, we'll move on.
Tell you what, if you prove a new Stache Club Wrestling merch purchase,
okay,
I will listen out to anyone that proves that purchase and then suggest a new wrestler for me to cosplay. I'm throwing that on the table.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good deal.
Men's wrestlers though. I wouldn't look good as Tiffany Stratton, I don't think.
I disagree, but if you say so. All right, we'll move on to Becky Lynch defeating Lyra Valkyria for the IC title at Money in the Bank. And then on Raw, Bayley returns, attacks Becky, and what was a pretty quick segment, but a really powerful segment, really impactful segment. I like what's going on here. I like what's going on here with the IC title. There's a lot of people being like, "Oh, Lyra should have won." I don't know. It's Lyra's the inaugural IC champion. Becky and her have had great matches. Becky is so established. Why wouldn't Becky beat her? You know what I mean? Like, yes. I get, like, yeah, sure, like, I'm not saying don't root for someone, but if you're zooming out and outside of kayfabe, being like, why would Lyra win? It's like, well, and then you have the Bayley stuff. We were kind of unsure if Bayley was going to show up during the Money in the Bank match or the Money in the Bank one-on-one match. We did get her on Raw, and looks like we're going to Bayley siding with Lyra, at least maybe for now. Bayley versus Becky for the title. I don't know, but a lot of good stuff here.
Give me a triple threat.
Sure, fuck it.
But I love the return. Bayley looking like a tall, thick glass of milk, looking great as ever. My thing, though, I like Becky winning the title. I do, even though she, for some reason, when it comes to predictions, always screws Jimmy from the Q. But I did not like on her promo. But although it's double-sided coin, it did produce kind of great heat. But she kind of buried the title, saying she's a bit underneath the title, which is somewhat true. So that she was kind of
didn't pick up on that.
Justified. She's kind of saying she's bigger than the title.
Okay.
This and that. Calls out the crazy bird lady in Lyra, which I thought was a pretty funny line. A fun return for Bayley, and this mid-card scene, this mid-card title, women's title scene is on fire in my opinion. I think Lyra for me I'm becoming more of a fan every week.
Me too.
I think her promos are really good, even though she's constantly just because I think this live crowds are just kind of a little bit more disrespectful to women. She has to fight the what chance so much, but always kind of overcomes it, and it has really believable promos. Even some spots where I'm like, why even put her out there for these promos? Where it's she's such a good in-ring worker. Just keep having great matches, and she'll get way more over with the crowd with her trying to she is a pretty good promo though, so I can see why, but it's coming to a point where it's okay, crowd, let her speak. The what chants are so annoying, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, speaking of, I gotta interject real quick. Kind of goes to my point with R-Truth. Or what chance during the Ron Killings promo? Yeah,
it kind of took him.
Call me crazy.
It kind of took him until to cut the hair to then be like, oh shit, now he means business, and that kind of killed it. But
I'm just saying, if you're a girl saying what chance during the Ron Killings promo, hot office.
I noticed that too, and I think it's because his delivery, you kind of don't do yourself favors when you leave that pause.
Yeah,
you kind of.
Pause.
What?
Put it up. Yeah,
what?
Sure.
But yeah, that's a good point. I did notice that too during the Truth's initial start of his promo. But yeah, once he cut the dreads, it was on like Donkey Kong.
But anyway, Becky Lyra. I agree. Lyra just hasn't fully connect. I think it's a problem, not a problem, but it's a thing like these, other new NXT up and comers, like a Julia, who I also maybe hasn't connected with the crowd as quickly as a Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
Where there's not that we're comparing, but just some people take some more time. We're you need to showcase what they can do in ring more, or maybe start leaning into the bird thing. I guess I don't know. What I will say though, Becky Lyra, great chemistry. This match. The match at Money in the Bank rocked. The match they had before this rocked. So we're definitely, first of all, this feud's not over with or without Bayley's involvement. So I think we're getting another match for sure. But I'm also excited to see, there's so much history you can lean on with Bayley, Becky. You can loop in Lyra, and that also working with Bayley and Becky now puts Lyra way up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely want a Lyra Becky 3 just straight up one-on-one again before we get Bayley interjected. Just because they were really good matches, but each time I felt like the endings were so kind of sudden, and I did want some more.
I don't disagree.
That was my only critique, and I will say this too. Another thing of why didn't you have Bayley return at Money in the Bank? Well, you had R-Truth return the same night, so you kind of want to space out returns, and I thought it was the right move. But yeah, where is Lyra in all this? Does she kind of move on? Will it be Bayley versus Becky for a little bit straight up, or will it be a triple threat? I think it will be a triple threat eventually.
Yeah, because you also don't want Lyra to get buried
lost in the shuffle.
Lost in the shuffle is a better way to say it. And if she comes Bayley's number 2 and she's coming out with her as almost her manager, then it's why is she? She should be wanting the title, and why?
I'll tell you what though, our GOAT hasn't defended the title in quite some time, it feels like. Io Sky.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we kind of throw Lyra at Io just to get a win for the title,
Sure. Putting her in the world title match isn't the craziest thing.
I definitely don't think she's ready to win it yet and be the champion, but I was kind of noticed that Io Sky, besides,
I don't know what they've been doing.
Besides glazing Nikki Bella for some reason, that was her only thing on Raw, which
was wild.
That was what are you doing? Io was, killing it on probably other promotions when Nikki Bella was saving the woman's evolution, or whatever you want to call it, revolution. But yeah, that was a weird promo. But I miss Io. I want to see Io. So maybe Lyra Io would be cool.
Oh, interesting. Whoa. So sorry, this is an article. It just says Nikki Bella addresses online pushback to Io Sky, saying she paved the way on WWE Raw. Quote, "It's not just about a move set in the ring." This is a long
getting
quote.
Heat, brother.
Which is doesn't make any sense because she's the face.
Yeah, it's not good. Sometimes I question if she knows wrestling fans.
Amazing. I meant what she did. God, this is a long. I thought it was gonna be a quicker thing. Where did she even address this? I don't know. I'm not gonna read this whole thing. And that locker room is so incredible. It's just really nice to be in a great female talent. They had my own locker room for me, and I was like, no, I'm going to female talent. I want to be with them. Oh, on her podcast with Brie, she was talking about this, and I guess I'm not gonna read the quote right now. It's a massive.
There's some reports too of the WWE wanting to bring Brie back as well too. I mean, that only makes sense.
Well, that's we'll get into it because I have a little speculation on what we're gonna look at.
Oh.
For there, but that's later. That's a little later. All right. Yeah. I mean, so yeah. To wrap up that, or some more woman stuff. I think that's kind of it for Becky Lyra. I'm excited to see where we're going, especially with Bayley coming back. And then, but yeah, I fully agree. Let's get Io some more title. You have Io Sky as your world champion. She hasn't really been defending it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Believe you me, I'm in that same camp of hey, what are we doing here?
Get some matches.
All right, John Cena CM Punk promo on Monday Night Raw. Wowee. This was a lot. Cena came out, did his shtick about, our truth stuff we were mentioning, blah, blah. Punk comes out, which, ooh, god damn. When Cena's just in the ring, talking his shit, and then just perfect, dude. Fucking perfect. We're getting it. This should have happened at Money in the Bank. It didn't. Now we're getting it. So Punk said, they're going back and forth for a while. Punk said, most people in the back want that title. I don't. I don't want that title. This isn't a direct quote, but I don't want that title because of the monster it turns me into. But for the people, basically, to take the power away from you, John Cena, I have to become the monster to beat the monster. Which is there's no one better at telling a whole story in a matter of 3 minutes than CM Punk. The fact that he was referenced his title run and whatever it was, 2013, I think he said.
Yeah.
Addressing that he became a monster and saying that he doesn't even want the title. It's why he hasn't been that close to the WWE Championship. But saying now that I'm a man of the people, I need to take away that title. Unfortunately, it'll put the title on me. I'm afraid of what that's going to do to me. But for the greater purpose, I need to take that title off of you, regardless of what it does to me as a person. I need to beat you, John Cena. That monster to become a monster, to beat the monster, is a reference to an ROH promo.
Yep.
He also made a perfect reference to the you're more the New York Yankees than Boston Red Sox promo
from 2011, which
perfect.
That line, I always laughed because that line is the line that set Cena off to attack Punk, which
punched him.
Which he called you the Yankees. The Red Sox are just as corporate. I don't know. It was even to me watching as a kid back then. Thought that was a funny ass line.
It's
for John Cena to get super mad about CM Punk.
You're not the Boston Red Sox. You're more like the New York Yankees.
Yeah. Because Punk wanted him to. That line was reference for him wanting a title match tonight, but you didn't get that tonight because John Cena says, you're gonna follow my ass all the way to Saudi Arabia, which there's a lot of talk about CM Punk's wants or unwants to go to Saudi Arabia. Is he a hypocrite for past comments? There's definitely some speculation of too. There was a infamous tweet of his towards Mike the Miz about Saudi Arabia, and Cena posted on Instagram a picture of the Miz doing the Skull Crusher finale. So are we leaning towards possibly a Mello and maybe local boy, just like where he's from the same area as John is, Mello, teaming up and helping Cena? That could be something.
Why? Wait, you lost me. Why?
So Miz and Punk have history with that, with the whole Saudi Arabia thing.
Because I see.
Cena's,
Mello and Miz
are working together. So there could be maybe Cena's new henchman. I mean, this is all definitely not going to happen.
Whoa, yeah, you lost. I was so with you, and then you went. And then Carmelo Hayes going to
only because Mello is with
Miz.
Yeah. But I think there could be...
I think what you're saying is people are also speculating that maybe the Miz and Punk are gonna
which I don't think so, but it would make sense. Plus, I don't see them WWE that is wanting to like reference this and have it be a part. Like,
I doubt they reference it more than they already referenced it a lot more than I thought they would have. But which Cena said this launch, I didn't catch until after, but after he was like, Cena teased, they're like, we're gonna do it on Raw, and like, just kidding, no, we're not. We're gonna Saudi Arabia, and he goes, you're gonna have to follow me to Saudi Arabia, and he goes, balls in your court, hero.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. And like
balls in your court, hero.
Kind of breaking that fourth wall a little bit of like, you stand up for a cause. Like, are you gonna continue for that cause? And like, as a CM Punk fan, I've kind of learned to just accept this man is in many aspects a hypocrite.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I'm not fully convinced we're gonna get this match. I think there's potential for a attack angle with where maybe Seth's faction, maybe a week or so before, and I think maybe there is some cause for concern about Punk maybe not still, because again, if you find yourself in a situation where you are a booker and you want to maybe book this match eventually, and you tease it for this Night of Champions, but Punk can't go, you wouldn't say, oh, the first week we're building up to this, Punk's not going, let's write him off TV. Maybe you build up to it, and then storylines happen where Punk can't go to the show, someone else will fill in or whatever.
Because also, where I think this match fits better, respectfully, is SummerSlam. This is a SummerSlam main event. It has SummerSlam written all over it. If we're not doing Punk Cena at SummerSlam, what are we doing? What are we doing for
SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I'd be a little disappointed. I think it's too soon for. Because I'm actually very happy with Cody's direction, where now Cody has to be in the King of the Ring, kind of earn his title shot back. Which maybe Cody will win the King of the Ring, who knows? But they're just not throwing it immedly at you. So and I think even if that were to be the case for SummerSlam, Cody Cena, that is, it's a bit too soon for me. Like my mind says Cody's gonna win that match, and this whole Cena run is apparently over. So I don't know.
I think I had something too. Also it's also Night of Champions, so you would think not that rules don't matter anymore, but you would think they'd do maybe champion versus champion. Maybe that'd be where we'd get Cena Gunther for the sake of just having, especially because nothing's gonna happen. I think that's part of the reason when people are like, I want it at SummerSlam, because not much happens in Saudi in terms of on their shows.
Well,
so
they do the champion versus champion, I think, for Crown Jewel. That's what the Crown Jewel champion is. Remember, Cody and Liv won it.
Right.
So maybe they're not doing that for this aspect. But
when's
I hear
Crown
you saying.
Jewel?
I have no idea. Probably later this year, I'd imagine.
Good point.
Because I remember Liv Morgan brought that up, that she was the...
October. Okay.
So maybe they'll do a champion for champion then. Yeah. But just... don't get me wrong. Cena and Punk are wrestling soulmates. I'm very much excited for this match wherever we get it. They can fight on Mars, and I'll still watch it.
How would you like it if they did Cena Punk 2 technically at not 2 2025 Cena Punk 1 at Night of Champions, and then some shit happens, it's fine, it's lackluster, whatever, and they run it back part 2 at SummerSlam?
I don't know if they want to, not be careful using the word waste, but kind of use 2 of Cena's 19 dates or whatever he proclaimed 18, on 18 dates, 2 of them on the same opponent.
Yeah.
So I'm a little, but given it would be worth it with it being
it'd
CM
be worth
Punk.
it. I think a part of your point too is I think there's something special about having it once, one more time, as opposed to we got the Orton match. I don't think Cena and Orton are gonna touch again. So it's there is something to that of having it that one time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm really like I said, a lot of.
Because if I were to be potentially right, if Punk still stands his ground and doesn't want to travel to Saudi Arabia, and they do a replacement, who do you think would be a suitable replacement?
Great question.
That's kind of because then you have the King of the Ring finals happening the same night. Would maybe they would do a thing of the winner of the King of the Ring then will challenge Cena later in the night? That could be something. Or maybe then you have Cena first, like Sami Zayn, and then you get Sami Zayn in there and Seth Rollins
for the title.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the thing with King of the Ring is the winner gets a title shot at SummerSlam.
Right, that's
you know
true.
What I mean,
so like, I'm saying they could change that if they did a right off angle of Punk. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but
yeah, I don't. I mean, it's a fair topic to be all over the place on. So I
think Punk. There's a chance that this could be a bait and switch. I can see them saying, like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this match at Night of Champions," because all of it does seem a bit random for Punk to just come out and to say, "Hey, we're having a title match," well, in his Ramones sweater, which like iconic. If you know, you know.
It's last minute too. 'Cause it's like Night of Champions is in 2 weeks, and like a Cena Punk build for SummerSlam, give them 5 or 6 weeks or whatever to really dive into their history. And like if like I have enjoyed this Cena heel run. I think I've said it in the past 1 or 2 weeks. I've enjoyed it. I am enjoying it. I fully admit and recognize that this needed Punk. This to help tell the story in a more compelling way, to help push it along, especially as we're halfway through. This Cena retirement tour needed Punk. It needed Punk on the mic to tell his side of the story and to tell the side of the story of where Punk and Cena are at now. I would rather get, like I was saying, 4, 5, 6 weeks of that. And I think the retirement tour would benefit from 4, 5, 6 weeks of Punk being like, because Punk is the one that can really dive into what this Cena heel character is. There's speculation on, is is Cena fully heel? Is he just, again, you can go back to like, fucking Punk and Rock. Punk and Rock have history. Meanwhile, Punk and Rock's history is also tied in with Cena and Rock. You know what I mean? So my point is they have CM Punk to tell this, to help Cena tell this story, this retirement story, to get the side explanation of John Cena that they haven't been able to show well, whether he is fully heel or he's maybe a little rocky, no pun intended, about the situation. Is he, what are the reasons he's doing this? Does he regret it? Punk can maybe bring out some of that regret. So I think if you have someone like CM Punk that can do this, why cram it into 2 weeks? And why? Because that means we're only getting maybe 1, maybe 2 more promos.
So maybe,
you know what I mean?
Maybe you're right. It's going to be a 2-parter. Maybe
maybe it is
SummerSlam. Yeah, that could make some sense.
Sure. I mean, that was sure, that could be it too. I guess my more so my argument was like to your point, like I could see them not doing it at Night of Champions, so they can have maybe the proper fully fleshed out thing for SummerSlam. However, we did get Cena Orton rushed a little bit just to get to St. Louis.
Truth.
So I don't know. That's kind of me really just saying like, oh, here's what they have. You have. I'm just frustrated. You have CM Punk in this Cena feud, and it's needed, especially as so many people don't like the Cena heel run.
Yeah.
Now you have Punk to fucking sell it and bring it home. You know,
Absolutely.
and I think he did a great job of it already, laying the groundwork.
Yeah, no, fire promo. Great promo.
That's what we need. I don't know. That's my frustrations about it. As much as I am also excited, face value, where it's hard to see like. Regardless, there's just it is hard to see like what hindsight 2020 is going to be come SummerSlam. Are we going to look back at Cena Punk 2025 and be like, oh damn, they dropped the ball on that?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Where I'm at.
You just got to think too. It's gonna be shenanigans. It's gonna be the title over the head. It's gonna be
Night of Champions.
whether it's Night of Champions, and maybe that calls for a rematch. You know, Punk will say,
"Oh, I get what you're saying.
there were shenanigans. You cheated," or maybe even Seth does like a tease, a cash in, and cost Punk the thing, so he wants a rematch. So,
you know what we need to happen though? This is more just like speculating, like fun, but. Because they and again, there's so many callbacks you can do, and like they did the the Yankees and Red Sox promo with that. Was there another reference? There might have been another reference that I missed. But anyway, if we get at maybe let's say Night of Champions, Cena wins in a shitty way. Cena wins with a low blow, whatever. You can lead to like a SummerSlam Part 2, whatever. But give me that moment of Cena like cheating to win or narrowly winning or whatever, and then Cena leaves through the crowd, sitting on the barricade, blows Punk a kiss.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
The Money in the Bank.
That'd be
Money in the
beautiful.
Bank match.
Oh yeah.
You know, blows
no
him a
question.
kiss, and I'll see you at SummerSlam.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful cinema. Absolutely. And then, but what ended this promo segment though was Seth freaking Rollins is coming out, showing off his briefcase, laughing, and then that's the end of the segment. Like, okay, cool, Seth. So is that another harbinger of maybe Seth is gonna be cashing in or teasing a cash in this promo in this feud?
I think that's a lot of people's criticisms too. Is like you have Punk, you were doing Punk Rollins again. Now you're just pumping the brakes so you can shoehorn in Punk Cena. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you had Cena Cody and then pseudo R-Truth feuding. So it's like there were already two established feuds happening that they're now just like these two guys are like anyway, like ignoring, you know what I mean, and doing this thing. So I don't know. Which it does help they are including Seth. It does make sense.
A lot of things are up in the air right now because Jey just lost the title, so like he's kind of like, is he gonna be going back for it to get his lick back on Gunther? Is he gonna be continuing the good fight with Sami Zayn and Punk over versus new faction? Like,
do we give Jey his rematch? Even just face value that. I mean, rematches are like barely a thing anymore, but
right,
you know,
I mean, I think it's deserved.
All right. We're gonna move on to. I know we've been kind of going back and forth on it, you know, for a lot of show referencing, but. The King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. First of all, you have Sami Zayn advancing in the King of the Ring tournament over Penta, Dom, and Braun Breaker. This match, well, you know what? It was good. It wasn't as good as the women's Fatal 4. The women's Fatal 4 is fucking crazy. There was some I think because they were going like a fucking mile a minute. Some sloppy moments. Not just like harp on the negatives of this, but a little sloppy moments. But overall, really fun match with four of the most talented people in the company, and Sami Zayn getting the win. Yeah,
huge for Sami Zayn. You know, to my boys, I mean, all these guys are my boys. I mean, all these guys. What a fun freaking four to have in the ring. Of course, Braun Breaker is my favorite wrestler currently going. Dom Mysterio, we've been, you know, very outspoken of our support of Dom. Starts the match off, immediately bails, like it's classic. Penta flying, doing, you know, tope con helio on Dom. It's crazy chaos. Breaker dominating during this match. The Frankensteiner, probably one of my favorite moves. You know, Dom, the Three Amigos, just, you know, his whole moveset's great. Mid-match, Breaker pointing to Sami Zayn, you guys like this bum?
Oh, yeah.
Like, his audios, like some of his sound clips are just so entertaining and fun. Like, he pops off. He's so real.
Yeah.
That freaking spear at Money in the Bank to El Grande.
Crazy.
Just another highlight reel.
Crazy.
Just like, god damn, this guy's the man. I mean, of course, he's, you know, very much busy kind of being the second guy in the faction or whatever, but like if we could have done a Brock Lesnar 2002 King of the Ring for Braun and have him, you know, ascend to the top of the card and win the world title this year, I would have loved it, but seemingly they're kind of doing the slow build with him, which is fine. You know, just awesome. Where Sami Zayn, though, who's he going to get out of Orton, Knight, Mello or Black? That's going to be a good second round match. Definitely excited for that. I think Sammy is going to beat whoever wins that match.
I think so too.
So then you get to look at potential matchups of Sammy versus who's on the other side of the bracket. Maybe a Cody comes out. We don't know who the mystery man is. Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about.
My guess is Ilya. That's kind of, I don't know.
It's bold because it's an injury. We don't really know this guy's body, what's going on with him. Like, could he be returning? I've seen some farty rumors going around, but you know, Joe Hendry's a good shout. My boy Iguana, who knows if they want to bring him back like that. Obafemi would be, to me, definitely an outside shot, but I would love.
Yeah, Trick Williams has been like, you know, people are looking at that call up for a while.
Yeah.
I guess we did kind of really go over the King of the Ring bracket anyway. I think we'll just move on to the women's.
Yeah.
All right, Roxanne Perez advances in the Queen of the Ring tournament, defeating Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, and Liv Morgan. This match fucked. This was I love like the storytelling of Roxanne and Liv finally just like, you know what? All right, fuck it. Fine. We'll be a team. Whatever. And then the way this end, I mean, first of all, Kairi Sane and Rhea just have great chemistry. Kairi Sane looks sick. God, for a moment, we had the potential of Kairi and Asuka in the fight. Ooh, I know we weren't going to get it.
Can't believe they just didn't like have a surprise return for Asuka. They just announced it. That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I have some. Yeah. We'll talk about that. But
This match was great.
Liv and Roxanne, Kairi Sane ends up hitting an insane elbow on Liv. Roxanne getting that basically stack up off of that move to win. Then backstage you had a little bit of Judgment Day celebrating, and then Liv coming in with just amazing character work. How she's like so pissed, but like I love the way she gets mad because it's emotionless. When she's mad, there's no more emotion, and she's like, okay. It's like, ooh, it's terrifying. Dom really stuck between a rock and a hard place. Finn on Roxanne's side. It looks like we're leading to Raquel Rhea because Raquel kind of cost Rhea this, which that's kind of cool that we're getting the second part of that rivalry. A lot of good stuff here, just a ton of good stuff here. I'm glad Roxanne went over. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping it wasn't going to be Rhea, just for the sake of just like someone new, which I don't totally disagree with. That match Raw, and then kind of the rest of the Queen of the Ring kind of get the full scope of things. On the SmackDown side, we have Jade Cargill versus Michin versus Piper Niven versus Nia Jax. Then we have Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss, Jesus Christ. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, and Candice LeRae. Then on the last Raw side, we have, like you mentioned, a returning Asuka versus Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Ivy Nile. Quick picks. Who you looking at? How's this whole scope looking for you? And we'll kind of talk about the Asuka stuff.
Man, I was very shocked about Rhea not winning. I was a bit pleasantly surprised though, because again, Roxanne's great, and I love the spot of them. Roxanne and Liv catching Kairi and then throwing her over the top. That was I thought a very innovative spot. So congrats to Roxanne. Good win for her. So who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? This is tough.
The whole thing I have no clue. Like you have a Jade in there.
Yeah.
You obviously have a Charlotte. You have a returning Alexa. You have Asuka returning. You have Stephanie Vaquer, who's been on top of the world. So like there's some picks here. Then you have Roxanne, obviously.
So I believe, because when the tournament was announced, I immediately made my picks. I picked Sami Zayn to win, which I was right about. Then I picked Rhea to win, which I was wrong about, which is fine. Whatever. Shake it off. Move forward. Who I think is going to win this tournament is Jade Cargill. I think Jade Cargill is going to win, so I have her winning the Fatal 4-Way. Then I have Charlotte winning her Fatal 4-Way. And then I think I have Stephanie winning hers. So I think we have Charlotte for Stephanie round 2, and then a Roxanne versus Jade round 2. I think Jade wipes the floor with Roxanne. And then we have a set of finals of Jade versus Charlotte getting a win over Stephanie, kind of cooling her momentum down. And then I think we have a kind of somewhat of a dream match. Jade versus Charlotte. Jade getting a big win as I think a gimmick that suits her fantastically. A Queen of the Ring, beating, of course, the Queen herself, Charlotte Flair.
It'd be sick. And then obviously you lead to the SummerSlam title match that you get for Jade. Jade earned it. It's a good way for Jade to earn it and prove her spot. I think you're overlooking Roxy. I don't know about Roxy getting crushed by Jade.
I think Jade is just so jacked and just so powerful. And Roxanne, great wrestler, a little small, a little short.
Sure.
Short queen, if you will.
Let me remind you about the world's greatest underdog in one, Rey Mysterio.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Took down the Great Khali.
Where's Rey doing right now? Sweet mustache.
I know. God, where's that been for the past 30 years, huh? How come we haven't? This is the first time we're getting facial hair Rey. Oh, he looks sick.
He does look cool.
Yeah, I hope he keeps it.
But still on the injury block, because that's, tough to roll the big boys sometimes, and you get hurt. And what are you
talking?
Hey,
roll with the big boys.
Roll with the big boys.
This is Rey Mysterio. We're talking. He is the big boy.
Hey, I don't think Roxanne is at the Rey Mysterio height yet. She may be one day. Maybe switch up her finisher move. I don't like the pop rocks. So maybe you get
there it is. There it is. All about the pop rocks. But yeah, there's so many different avenues.
Yeah, that's his mind.
And then we had we'll talk about.
Who do you got winning?
I honestly don't know. I lean Roxanne only because I thought she would have been a good one for Money in the Bank.
Yep.
We are coming off like of all these notable events, she's right there, right? Like Royal Rumble, getting the accolade of being the longest in the Rumble and getting second place. Money in the Bank, just being in there and being pretty close. And then now you have Queen of the Ring, where I think they're so hot on her, they're just kind of looking for where she gets the win.
I just worry about her feud with Liv and the whole Judgment Day thing, where I think
that's what might take her out of it,
getting
right?
the boot soon.
That's what even if it's I could see whatever Roxanne's next match is in this tournament. Liv comes in and costs her. Like that's pretty easy to get her out of it. Then you go to Roxanne, Liv.
Although we're apparently getting Liv and Nikki.
Well, so yeah, we'll transition to that. I don't think we're getting Liv Nikki straight up.
Oh, really?
I think.
Whoa.
I think this is obviously leading to Evolution.
Oh.
Nikki kind of came out. She was confronted by and then was taken out by Liv Morgan, which also shout the pot that Nikki still gets. That rocks. So yeah, it was kind of an Evolution promo, Evolution hype up. I do think we're finally getting Liv and Raquel maybe defending those tag team titles against a Bella Twins.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Bring Brie back. We're laying the groundwork now. Bring Brie back. We get the Bella Twins versus Liv and Raquel for the titles. That's where I'm at. So I'm hoping.
The female Shawn Michaels and Diesel better take care of those freaking reality star twins. Respect to them. Definitely innovators. I know they have a passionate fan base.
Total Divas rocked.
Total Divas actually totally rocked. But for me right now, I'm still very much like I support the current wrestlers, not these part-timers looking for the whatever. And like very interesting. Like Nikki came out with this whole I think that the crowd's gonna turn on them. On Nikki at least, because again she's a kind of a celebrity at this point. You're coming in kind of trying to step on the toes of a vet. And I think, Liv, again, is a heel, but she still is loved. And I think there's going to, in her promo, she made very valid points and kind of like even hit her with some zingers. That match to me, like, that's a very interesting dynamic for Raquel and Liv versus the Bella Twins. That's going to be a tough one. Like, do you have the Bella Twins win?
No, they shouldn't. Because this is their one and done.
You think
so?
I
don't think, I don't think they're sticking around. That's my 2 cents. I don't think they're sticking around. So yeah, I think they should probably put over Liv and Raquel.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I'm also curious, like that's the only inclination of a match I believe we have for Evolution. Like we don't have the world title pictures shaped up yet.
Right.
When is Evolution again? It's in like it's the same weekend as like
so
it's like mid-July.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to see what the rest of the card shapes up to look like. I don't need like this. As cool as it would be to have like the Bella Twins like main eventing. I don't know if they're main eventing over the world titles, assuming they're being defended.
They better be.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. So a lot to look at. I'm kind of curious. Kind of just waiting to see what happens with that one. To be honest,
you can look, but you can't touch.
I know it's a good theme song. Over on Raw to kind of get to Worlds Collide stuff. But like this is a fun match. We had AJ Styles defeating Chad Gable, kind of getting revenge from a week or two ago.
Way too short.
Yeah. This was my like main and only takeaway is like. This is a dream match in a lot of people's books. Yeah. This could have went at minimum. I needed like 7 more minutes. 6 minutes, 5 minutes. I would have been fine with. Definitely
TKO.
Too short.
Please, best of 7. AJ Styles, Chad Gable. But seemingly though, Chad got a little bit of offense in. I think though AJ would probably win in game 6. I think it ends in 6 with AJ Styles winning because for some reason. El Grande, kayfabe wise, is a lot better than Chad Gable. El Grande is like I was like 8-0 minus Money in the Bank. I don't count multi-person matches
singles.
In singles competition
or non-multi. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Undefeated. Like El Grande doesn't lose. That's that steel plate. It's just that lucha mentality. But Chad Gable comes up short often. It came up short against Vikingo at Worlds Collide. Came up short here. So there's definitely some dynamic of like Chad Gable is a loser. El Grande is a winner.
Yeah, I think it's a loser for multiple reasons. We got Vikingo. Kidding. Everyone relax. Kidding. I don't know. I'm just, I don't care anymore. I don't know. It's all so stupid. Like, I don't know. I'm off the Chad Gable train. Because God damn it. And maybe I'm some of the fans, remember I was, earlier in the show, I was talking about with R-Truth and the fans are fickle and in 6 months, they're going to still be rooting for it. I've been campaigning for Chad Gable this whole time. I don't know whose decision the El Grande shit is. We're still doing it. And granted, like he had a match of the year contender with Vikingo. Why can't we just do that? Why can't we just do that? And then we have to still do the El Grande stuff, and like, I don't know. I'm very much losing my good faith in Chad Gable, where if he wants, hey, here's the thing. If you want to keep doing the El Grande stuff, great. You'll never touch a world title in your life, and I'll be fine with that. Who gives a shit?
I think the boat's already set sail for that. So it's for Chad Gable to do that, unfortunately. So that's kind of more reason to kind of do this kind of funny shtick gimmick thing that gets people worked up and upset. And
right, because you can't connect with the fans on your own.
I guess so. I mean, I guess so. It's like it's definitely something to. Where I think they're kind of building up storyline wise, where again El Grande 8-0, Chad Gable taking loss after loss, and like I think he's eventually gonna get so frustrated with his own stupid creation that he's done, where he's gonna snap.
I hope they do something.
Yeah,
I hope they do something.
I mean, it's definitely gonna build to an unmasking spot, and I think that moment will be definitely something that will get the crowd in energized and fired up and have a fun moment. But we all know who it is, so it's like is it will it be, but it could be one of those silly things that kind of does land. But yeah, I mean, I thought maybe El Grande was gonna win Money in the Bank, so I'm a little surprised that he didn't. But of course Seth Rollins had that kind of in the bag. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little over it too, to be honest with you, but I'm still kind of I do find it quite funny.
Yeah, I just, it's like to be clear, like my real disappointment and frustration, because I like Chad Gable. I think Chad Gable is one of the best, and to see like, he's in a Money in the Bank match and whatever. And granted, Chad Gable, not El Grande, did have that banger match with Vikingo. I don't even care that he lost.
Same day.
It was an unreal match. To me, it just comes off cheap and like a cop out. And I'm not even sure a cop-out on WWE's part, on Chad Gable's part, on both their parts. That's like, why can't you do this with Chad Gable and you have to like do this like, oh, well, it's El Grande, and like if they start finally telling a story, then I'm like, okay, but it's like it's the fact that we haven't even gotten that much of a story between Chad and El Grande besides a little bit of backstage of like, what do you mean he got the match and not, but you're whatever, I'm out sick, or like whatever the fuck. So if we can just, please, for the love of God, just start doing some
they definitely say they're friends. Like I remember Chad, they're promoting the whole, was it Fireball Ladder?
He's a fan of him. Yeah, the Fireball Ladder.
Was it Fireball Ladder? What?
Yeah. The cinnamon.
It was a Fireball Ladder.
Yeah, Fireball. Yeah.
So they're like, oh, like when they were promoting that, like he was kind of saying like, oh, we gotta, hope our friend El Grande wins. I think he had an El Grande t-shirt.
He has been wearing the El Grande t-shirt.
It's very much so not a secret anymore. But the boots too was another thing. Yeah, I do agree. They need to wrap it up. They do. They absolutely do.
Wrap it up or do something with it. I mean, obviously you can't have El Grande versus Chad, but like I don't know, bring in. I mean, you can honestly have someone, do a fake Kane, fake Undertaker
people
thing.
People are still like, some people that do believe that there are two different people say this is EC3, which like maybe you find someone that is a similar build like an EC3, and you do have some kind of weird like somehow it escaped his psyche, this character, and he does face it. If we somehow do get a Chad Gable versus El Grande Americano actual match, that could be something.
I'll take a lot of what I said back.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. I'll take a lot, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, here we go.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, Vikingo Chad Gable though, like I said, like, God damn, match of the year contender. This rocked. People got to see how good Vikingo is. I'm glad he retained the AAA title. I do know this is they're promoting Triple Mania that I think is happening in August. Speculation of a WWE superstar to be on that card.
Those Stars are already on there.
Oh, are they on Triple Mania?
They were advertising the promo picture. Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. This was great. Again, it was a week ago at this point, but if you haven't, speaking to the general public, if you haven't seen Vikingo Chad Gable, please go watch it, because it shows you what Chad Gable can go out there and do when he just becomes a wrestling machine, and he's just allowed to have these banger matches. So my frustration is more with WWE than it is Chad, but I don't know whose decisions are what, and then we're finally here, Jimmy. I know you've been itching. We had
literally actually like my face paint,
I'd imagine
like it actually does itch,
I would imagine
I can't touch it because then it goes away. My nose, I'm sure people are gonna be a little upset, like, oh, Jimmy's nose, you missed a spot. Like, no, he didn't.
We had the LWO and Lindsay Dorado defeating. No, wait, maybe I have that backwards. I'm not sure who won this match. This is the open match. I think, no, I got this wrong. Versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. I think they won this match. Anyway, Mr. Iguana, man. Oh man, I mean, what more can we say? What more can we say?
So I wasn't watching Worlds Collide at the moment, but then I see my phone, the TL, everyone going off about a man that is also iguana. And I seen the highlight of the Spanish Fly. I think that was what Octagon Jr. doing the Spanish Fly.
No, I think it was Lindsay Dorado.
Oh, right. Attacking the iguana.
Yeah.
And there's everyone going nuts about this. So I immediately turned into Worlds Collide. The match was already over, but the fact remains that this guy needs to be the WWE champion.
Did you see the clip of him like at the beginning of the match? Him just like kicking the iguana on his shoulder.
Oh yeah,
like so fucking.
A pro's pro. Like, let me try it right now.
Close.
You can't do
close.
it. You can't.
I know you're not a pro.
I'm not a pro.
But like this, like God, wrestling is so serious. I can't talk enough about this. Wrestling's so serious sometimes, where you need this fun injection, and he's also fucking great in the ring. I think that's the good thing too. Where he is this comedy gimmick, you want to call it. But he's also nice in the ring. And you have these funny, unserious spots weaved in between some serious wrestling where, like, he took a bump and he sold it like he was a dead iguana in the ring. He put the iguana, it was a puppet. He put it on his hand. He caught, like, a punch with it. He was teasing the puppet with the other wrestler. Like, so many cool spots. And obviously you had, like, the Spanish Fly and, like, dropping the elbow on the iguana. Him getting mad about, like... So much good stuff, and it's stuff like that where it's moments of like, oh, this is something we can all come together on. This is silly, it's fun, and the pro of it too is it didn't take away from quality wrestling because he's still a good wrestler. So it's yeah, I don't know.
I was shocked that
much needed.
Octagon got the Money in the Bank match over Iguana. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm surprised they didn't do a quick little swerve.
I know, see how much over Iguana is. But apparently, I was doing my research on this guy because I'm wearing his face paint, or I attempted to, with this in my backpack. And so I'm kind of reading up on Iguana, catching the highlights of the match and stuff like that. His theme song, kind of a fun theme song too. Mm-hmm. Recommend it. But apparently, I'm not sure how true this is. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I only read a few tweets, or whatever. But Mexico, he's not popular in Mexico. Mexican fans do not like him that much.
Oh, interesting.
I think because of the silliness, but then now to see how much over he is with the American crowd is like very funny to me. Where I think like you're maybe a miss one place, but you're a smash hit another place. I think it's kind of.
I mean, he must be on top of the world.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Like, imagine just seeing that response. Like, he was just in this match doing his thing that he usually probably does. He's like, yeah, there's gonna be this. Like, there's no one, including him, expected this like outpouring of support or whatever. Like we were just talking about tons of rumors and speculation of like, yeah, WWE is so hot on him and he's a top merch seller. And I'll tell you what, which I still might pull the trigger. I'm sure prices have went up, but that night I hopped on eBay. There's some like Mr. Iguana like autograph pictures for some steals. You know what I mean?
Price going up on those.
I have to check them right now.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's I'm over the moon for it. I love it. He's I'm definitely in the camp. Actually might buy this one. The seller offer. Ooh. Oops. Yeah, a little autographed Mr. Iguana. So sick.
That's crazy.
But
I mean, you have a lot of wrestlers eating their heart out, though. You got Joe Hendry eating their heart out, Orange Cassidy eating your heart out. A new gimmick wrestler has debuted and now is smashing it. So there's a lot of people.
Awesome.
There's a lot of people, a little upset. But so like you got Mr. Iguana, obviously a great animal to base a gimmick off of.
Who would have thought?
Who's next? What animal is next for the next big gimmick? Maybe if you had to create a gimmick for yourself based off an animal to get over with the crowd, like what animal is beloved? Because I think an iguana is a great pick for like
iguana is a good pick.
A low key animal that's like
slept on
marketable, kind of chill.
I mean, I feel
like penguin, but
I was gonna say penguin too. But I was gonna say penguin.
It's too close to the Batman villain. I feel like so like you
gotta lean into that.
Happy feet, like what do you do? The happy feet to the ring, maybe perhaps.
See, I don't even think it can be an animal.
Giraffe.
He's got the animal. It's gotta be a real tall guy. I don't know. He's got the animal market on lock. I don't know.
I mean, Braun Breaker is already a dog, so.
True. If he had I think I said it on stream, or maybe I said it on stream or on video, whatever, where Santino Marella is in TNA.
Oh.
We need Cobra versus Iguana, the match of the reptiles.
That's
you know
a
what
great
I mean?
show.
Jake the Snake, special guest referee.
Mick Foley's
Book it.
ring announcer.
Book it.
With this Mr. Sacco.
I'm stoked. I hope people don't burn out on him. The internet kind of already almost ruined the fun time, which is, I don't know. So it's when people get something and then all of a sudden there's like 8,000 jokes about it and it's like, okay,
Give an inch, they'll take a mile.
yeah, that's what it is. But I'm curious when he's gonna show up next. I'm surprised we haven't seen him yet. Like I said, like WWE is reportedly, I mean, I assume he's like under contract, right? With like them getting AAA. Like I don't really understand the legalities of it. But yeah, I would bet maybe we see him on SmackDown.
I don't want to speak for you in the whole show, but open invite for Mr. Iguana to be on the show.
Oh, would love it. Would love it. Yeah? Mr. Iguana, come on the pod.
Defend the Stache Club World Champions, Mr. Iguana. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he's listening as we're 2 hours in. Mr. Iguana,
we do Iguana versus Iguana match.
Whoa.
Maybe a triple. Maybe you do the pain too.
Maybe. I'd have to lose a bet, but maybe. Yeah, I think that's there is some Worlds Collide stuff we left off, but we are coming in on the 2 hour mark, folks. Yeah. That's the show, folks. But if you want to continue to hear us just chat, we got a bunch of your questions. Ton of questions. We're going to head over to the patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. Please go over there. Please sign up. Should have plugged that way earlier in the show. Didn't do that. Thank you everyone for being here. We appreciate it. We'll see you all week. Quizzes coming out. Blah, blah, blah. Check out everything you haven't on the channel. And all right, until next time, have an iguana. Chelsea Green was on some podcast, whatever. And the interviewer was talking to her about Total Divas, and she's like a big advocate for bringing it back. And he was like, do you see it coming back? And she was like, are you at the indie shows? Oh, if you're telling me I'm not a wrestling fan.
Right. His thing of like, oh, it's all part of the show. What the hell do you want the guy to freaking say? Ranking World Heavyweight title runs, the new World title runs. So number 1, Seth Rollins. Number 2, Jey Uso. Number 3, Damian Priest. Number 4, Gunther. Number 5, Drew McIntyre.